Hey, hello, welcome everybody. Luke the Big Dog Williams, Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Sweet Tea here. We have been promising this episode this series for
over a year.
For a long time, but hey, we're here. Tough Broads. I guess we got to give the name credit to Bull Bronson for coming up with Tough Broads. So if you have a problem with the word broads, let us know in the comments, and we will put the blame where it needs to be, and that's on Bull.
And if you have a problem with the word tough, then you're in the wrong area.
Also true. Today we're going to cover one of the first really big international crossover talents of the 90s women's wrestling division, as in Bull Nakano. A lot of people know Bull Nakano for the hairstyle and stuff, but you went through some extensive search and information finding to find out, so we can let people know the mystique and the history of Bull Nakano and why she deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, because this taking place after the Hall of Fame this year, as of this recording, the Hall of Fame did her no justice.
No,
at all.
Honestly, there's not a lot of information out there about her. So I got what I could, and we're going to share it.
All right, hit us with our first slide.
She was born Keiko Nakano. She was born in January on 8th, 1968. She she debuted in September of 1983. You know.
Oh wow, the year I was born.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
4 years or better.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's terrible, isn't it?
You're old.
I'm so old.
She was about the average height of 5'7", weighed about 220, and she retired early. She only had about 14 years of in-ring experience.
When she debuted, though, she was rather young when she debuted, correct?
Yes, she was 15 or 16.
That's insane to think about over in Japan. What a lot of people don't know is that they're not exactly what you would call the light-handed, Americanized pro wrestling over there. The women, when they went out there to fight,
Brute force.
Back then, and you're thinking of a 15 or a 16-year-old girl getting in here with grown adults. And from what I understand, they weren't very kind to new Joshi?
Joshi are what female wrestlers are called.
They weren't really nice to those young Joshi getting into the business, that sometimes they would take liberties on them, I'm sure.
Yes.
A little stiffer than most, but they had to prove that they were just as tough as the men, if not tougher.
The women had to show that they were as tough as the men. That was why most of the female wrestlers, or Joshis, are such strong style.
Go ahead and hit us with the next... to really help with that crossover appeal, to help her know that, hey man, you can't, like...
Because Luna was already in a wrestling family, so she already knew the business.
Insane wrestling family.
Yes, so she already had connections, so...
She kind of put her under her wing as the thing. Now, from what I understand, I always heard that Bull Nakano was like super strong, but she wouldn't sell people. Like the offense that she took, but 9 chances out of 10, unless you really hauled off and hit her, it was just like bouncing off of a wall.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, you'll be able to.
What is with the national? Yeah, here we go.
There.
When this repeats here, can you bring that big screen for us for just a second? Her career over here in WCW, WWEF at the time. Was there a significance to the shirts that she wore? Like, was it just like band shirts, or because I noticed that she has a Joker on, so obviously she's a fan of the Joker, obviously. But was that like just to keep her kind of separated with the tall hair and the thing that kind of kept her separated from everybody else? Correct.
Well, you needed your own look, but most wrestlers just had a ugly one-piece bodysuit, and honestly, Bull Nakano sweats a lot, so she started wearing cut-off shirts, and
presentation-wise, being more
honestly,
comfy under the lights.
All the shirts, just when you look at her matches, are just have a rocker-type fashion, a badass look.
Which was also intimidating, I'm sure, to what the Joshi wrestling usually used to see, the shorter stature, smaller, weighted.
And I think that's why she did her hair big. I'm not too
It is
sure.
to make it stand out, because when I think Bull Nakano, I think
The hair.
the hair, obviously. B, knowing that she's strong, but the hair always sticks out to me. Like, even from when I was a kid.
Go back one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this hair here. You can bring that big Forrest Gump.
Oh.
Oh.
Hey, hey. There we go.
Fact of all the weapons. Like, she's just standing there no-selling it.
She
Me,
gave
from
no
experience,
shits.
can tell you that those are real kendo sticks over there. They don't do the breakaway ones like we have here in the States. And I've been hit with a real kendo stick. And for you to no-sell that and to just take it while they're... that's
matches
impressive.
that I watched, their kendo sticks are much larger as well, and the fans hand them out.
Okay. Okay, so it's like it's almost like an ECW feeling. Like they would hand the wrestlers they would bring the weapons with them and just kind of, here you go, hit them with this.
In a cage
Kind of
match
thing.
with Aja Kong, someone gave her a chain. She wrapped Aja Kong in it. Fed it to another fan.
That's the one where it looked like they broke Medusa's nose, right, on the outside?
Yes.
Where they had all them people climbing up the side of the cage, which I think that's one we'll get into here in a little bit in this video.
Nope.
No? Is that not one we're covering? If you get a chance, go back and watch and find any of the Bull Nakano stuff from Japan. It is insane. We are going to cover a couple we watched later, though.
Yes.
So as far as championship reigns, she has had a lot. Let's see, from 19... in 1988. She was also AJW champion 85 through 88, so that means she held that title for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 80s was very impressive for Japan because they were always being filmed over there. Like they had a Texas Roadhouse approach to wrestling where there'd be one for breakfast time, and there'd be a wrestling show in the middle of the day, and then there would be a wrestling show at nighttime. So they were wrestling 3 matches a day in front of God knows how many
And
crowds.
she also was holding tag team championships for
At the
another
same time.
company
Yeah.
as well.
All Pacific champion in 89, a WWWA World champion, same place that she held the tag team championships, from 90 to 92. This is the one that really struck me interesting. CMLL World Women's Champion from 92 to 93. Now, was she the first to do that? I'm pretty sure she was. She was the first CMLL.
Tell them what CMLL is.
CMLL is one of the oldest, if not oldest, wrestling federations of
The
Mexico.
second oldest.
Second oldest next to, I want to say AAA. I could be wrong. I might have that wrong.
Coletta would know.
But CMLL really didn't have a lot of luchadora matches. And when they did, it definitely didn't look like Bull Nakano. She looked like a fish out of water. Coming in there, she was bigger than everybody. She was stronger than everybody. It only made sense for her to become the women's champion, obviously. Correct?
Yes, but this was for the World Women's Champion, the first one ever.
Ever. She was
For
the inaugural
CMLL.
champion for CMLL.
It was during a tournament, and she won.
That is amazing. 1993 and 92. Really, the women's wrestling revolution really had not gotten... It was starting to fade off from the 80s, which was big rock and wrestling. From 90 to 94, there really wasn't much of a women's division on television, other than what WWE was offering at the time. Here's a picture of her with...
It was horrible.
The American wrestling
she gave her no
fans...
hype.
She deserved better.
I felt like it was more about her, and honestly, no one knew who she was.
No, they didn't really hype, and they didn't really hype her as much as she deserved to be hyped. Not Sam Roberts, from Not Sam Wrestling, did a video that you can find here on YouTube, pretty much explaining to the fans what Bull Nakano meant to professional wrestling. Not went in to studio on his day off, went into studio
For an emergency.
for an emergency podcast to come out and be like, finally WWE is doing the right thing in putting people in that deserve to go in. Bull Nakano is definitely one of those names. This is there, of course, here recently with Medusa and the Women's Championship. That Women's Championship has sparked so much controversy in professional wrestling that I really wish that Bull Nakano would have just held on to it and the other lady would never get her hands on it. I digress. I'm not a big fan of Alundra Blaze, but when it comes to WWE and the American style wrestling, they really took care of each other. When it comes to wrestling in the ring, the line of communication was different. Obviously, I'm sure she didn't have real great English, am I correct?
Yeah,
To
she
say
could
that?
hardly speak English at the Hall of Fame. You could barely understand her.
So basically, most of their stuff was probably numbering segments. 1, 2, and knowing 1 meant, well, we're going to grapple, 2 meant, I'm going to throw you into the ropes. You know what I mean? Something like that. To be Sonny Ono helped, I'm sure, a lot. Luna help, I'm sure, a lot in the transition of, what did she say? Kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, and that's on both ends for Medusa, but also for Bull, who doesn't really speak well English. I'm sure she doesn't understand it well either, so it would be really tough to throw down, and yet they had classic match after classic match. I mean, Bull Nakano and Wonder Blades, her U.S. stuff was really cool. Her title reign was too short, if you ask me. But hit us with the next one, John. These are the championships that we were talking about there. Also, we cannot... It was like okay, that makes sense. That'd be kind of theme bar.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Now, does she still run the Bolchan?
No, it was only open for 8 years. It closed in 2018.
Was there a reason why they closed? Did she just like not want to do it anymore, or did something happen?
She had failing health due to alcoholic. Sense.
That's really, I mean, that's awesome for sure. Someone to go on the brink like that. I mean, she wasn't very big.
No.
When she was fighting, she had lost quite a bit of weight due to the alcoholism and stuff like that. And of course, we would be remiss not to mention that in 1994 it was never actually, for the people who know and are going to put it in the comments, we know that there was a rumor of substance abuse that got her canned from WWE. However, that's not exactly ever been proved.
It's just that she had possession of it.
But it's never been proved.
No.
Like, there is no documentation.
I couldn't find anything that said it was confirmed, just that they were
It's always been the rumor.
Allegedly.
I don't really know. If she was really big into alcohol, it could have been her just being... She could have been released because it was just hard for her to communicate. Being those days, no one spoke Japanese in the WWE. Like, she was pretty much on her own.
Yeah, they were supposed to bring Bertha Faye to come in while Alondra Blaze was out getting a booby job and a nose job, but she was fired.
Which is a shame.
That she's had huge supporters during her recovery from...
That was Killer Khan, right, that was brought in to play Bertha Faye? Pretty sure that's what she wrestled as before that? She was completely different than the Bertha Faye character you got. In Japan, she was a monster. Bertha Faye was. They brought her over,
Ripper or something.
and then they put her in polka dots and stuff and made a joke out of her. But that was supposed to be a really big feud to continue from Japan. We never got it, which is a shame. Go ahead and let's see what roll on here. Now, she...
She was finally qualified to be in the association.
Now, unfortunately, me and you both looked and looked and looked and looked and looked.
Could not find it.
There is no photographic evidence of any, I'm sure, that we can find. I'm sure there is somewhere, but that we can find on the net at all. So if you can find some, please drop a link in the comments for us, because I'd really like to see those. But as you can see, gorgeous, such a gorgeous woman. Got healthy again. That's fantastic that she's now being, of course, inducted. Go ahead and roll on through our next one here. Up some pictures of food from there and their menus, and man, everything looks
It looked really, really good.
It looks really, really good. Go ahead and we'll roll through here. Covers, what am I looking at here? Other than Alondra, of course.
Dump Matsumoto, Aja Kong, and Lola Gonzalez.
So they, basically her rivals in professional wrestling are her tag team partners. So you can really see the
Her
bond.
rivals became her best friends.
Yeah, you can see the bond between them as they gotten older. That they were there for each other when They really didn't have the limelight or the cameras on them anymore. She did have a stint in WCW. I do think I need to point that out there, that
Yes.
WWE was not the end of her in the United States. Also, there's something else here that she's...
Different factions.
Okay. We got different... It wasn't a women's division. It wasn't a women's company. It was a men's company. But they wore masks and straight characters. Like, you was a clown, you was a clown. You know, and everything. So, what 2008, she was inducted into the AJW Hall of Fame. In 2001, she was inducted into the Wrestling Observer Newsletters Hall of Fame, which, when it comes to publications and said such, Wrestling Observer. So close to being a thumbnail, correct?
Yes.
Like, you'll know the match that's
like,
from by
okay.
looking at it. What was our second match that we had that we reviewed?
Bull Nakano versus. It's basically that outfit.
Yeah, except 9 chances out of 10 they'll mix it up and they'll do that outfit, but they'll put blue hair on her because the blue hair was such a trademark for WWE.
She was known for the blue hair.
I do like the outfits that they put her in when she got to the WWE. They weren't the muscle shirts. Ring was so tough on your bodies. They were made to not bounce on TV. They didn't want the ring to bounce. So when you slammed, they wanted no recoil because it made the cameras look weird and made it look fake back then. So WWE made boxing rings that had no give. They had supports, just like building a porch. So when they were hitting solid wood, not giving wood like today. You know, today that's a secret that everybody knows. The rings give a little bit. They don't give a lot. It hurts. But back then, coming from the top rope of being 200...
I think her top weight around then was 220.
Okay, 220, thinking about that, especially as high as she came off the top rope down, had to be terror on her lower back.
And I believe she was at her heaviest when she was at the WWF/E.
Well, she has definitely taken care of herself. She's gotten back into shape.
Yes.
She has now Hall of Famer, WWE Hall of Fame, thrown on her name, which carry her for the rest of her whatever career she decides to take. If she decides to disappear tomorrow.
Well, I don't think she is being commissioner of Sukaban.
No, but I mean, if she never wanted to step foot in front of a camera again, she can rest her entire career on the fact that they finally inducted her where she belonged. They gave her flowers, and you can't complain about that.
Which you can thank Triple H for, or Hub the Bet.
A lot of people have the Triple H to think about a lot of things. We're going to get into some more women's wrestlers. We're going to get into some dates and stuff. We've got a bunch of stuff planned coming out further from here, but Bull Nakano really seemed like she needed to have her flowers given to her correctly.
With her being Hall of Fame inductee.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't do you justice. I hope we did her justice. There's information out there now.
I don't know if I did. This is my first time.
I think this video went great.
I tried.
Give a
Work
thumbs
on
up
it.
in the comments. Let us know what next topic you want to hear. We want to hear from you guys. You can give us a shout out here on the comments or on Facebook.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown. Or you can send us an email, ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that little bell so when these do come out, you'll be notified for it. You can be here and watch always. Don't forget to join us every Sunday, 5:30-ish.
Heavy on the ish.
Thank you very much. For Sweet Tea, I'm Luke Big Dog, as well as Big Bad John behind the camera, as we are always saying, the toughest broads always know to
Keep it in the ring.